In this video, I'll be extending my Ferplast multiple hamster cage for my pet mice. I recently put out a video talking about why I absolutely love this cage. I'll link that down below. But in this video, you're going to see me putting it together and then also just adding in some bits and pieces. So in Australia, I wasn't actually able to get the extensions. You can get extensions that make the first cage longer and taller. So instead, I bought a second cage and I'm going to be showing you exactly how I'm going to connect the two so that they have a nice big enclosure and different sections to go and explore. As I put this together, I make sure that I disinfect each item with isopropyl alcohol on some kitchen towel or kitchen paper, and then just wipe off any excess, make sure there's nothing left. That way it's nice and disinfected, because obviously people putting this into the packaging, you don't know what kind of bacteria might be on it, so it's always best to clean things first. I have to say that this is one of the more easier cages to set up than I've ever had to do before, and because once it's set up, I don't really have to take it apart to clean it. I can clean it just already set up. That makes things a lot easier. My plan originally was to have one side more of a sleeping area and one side more of a play area, but I realised that mice just pick and choose where they want their beds to be and where they want to play, so there'll be a variety, but I'm just going to make sure that there's different textures one side to the other. So in this side I'm going to be using oat and hay, in the other side you can see cocoa coir and also hemp bedding. I usually like to go for a minimum of 80 centimetres in length, and as this enclosure is 72.5 centimetres as one enclosure, together it makes 145 centimetres, so I'm really happy with the length. Although they're going to have to go through a tunnel to get to the other side, I just think it's really nice that they've got the two parts that they can now go and explore, and it's going to give them a lot more exercise, and also going through the tunnel gives them some enrichment as well. It would be possible as well to take off one of the sides, I would imagine, if you wanted to do it that way, but I just found that doing it this way was the easiest and also a fun way for them to get some exercise one way to the next. So I'm now connecting the tunnel. This tunnel doesn't actually come with this enclosure, just so you know. It comes with the little attachments for you to attach a tunnel, but you will need to order the tunnel separately. So I'm just using one that I've used on a previous enclosure before and attaching it one side to the other. So like I said, a nice cool tunnel for them to run through to the other side. So this is oat and hay that I'm adding into their enclosure. They love oat and hay, and like I said, it's really nice for them to have a mixture of bedding, but it also means that they might actually have a bit of fun and drag some of the hay back into their other enclosure through the tunnel. So that's another form of really good enrichment for them. Oat and hay is also really good nutritionally for them because they do nibble on it. The base of this enclosure allows for me to have a good 6 inches of bedding, and obviously if you're using hay, you could build it up higher than that if you wanted to. I find with the cocoa coir and the hemp bedding, if you go up higher than the plastic base too much, then they're going to kick it out of the sides. But with hay, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. The little treehouse here is a Sylvanian treehouse. It's actually one of my daughter's old toys, but they absolutely love it. And the little birdhouse, I can put little treats inside, which they really enjoy. Just attaching some different ladders. I've got a bit of fabric in there. Just a few different things for them to explore. Lots of ladders for them to get one level to the next, because as you know, mice absolutely love to climb, so just creating lots of different levels. And I mentioned previously in my other video about this cage that that's one of the things I really like about it, that you can have that nice deep bedding, but they also get all that climbing space as well. The one thing I would say with a setup like this is it's important to make sure you've got easy access to water on both sides, just in case anything were to happen to the tunnel whilst you're asleep or something like that, to make sure that they've always got access to water.